Another episode of the TV recap. Let's go with Attack on Titan Season 3, Episode 9. So this episode of Attack on Titan, it's basically the scouts and the wall defense are trying to defend the northern part of the wall. The northern parts of the wall are always the walls that are not defended as well because the Titans are the ones that are coming from the south, and you have to defend the south. So the northern side of the walls are never really that defended well. So really, they're really unprepared. But luckily for the wall is they have the scouts there for them. And their whole plan is to plug a bunch of gunpowder, scatter the Titan up, and then the scouts can do their thing and slice and dice them. So this is an interesting episode. We're seeing Historia really coming to her own, and she makes the final kill, kills her father, and I guess becomes the queen of the Iron Throne or something. Also, we see Eren. He's accepting his role as humanity's trump card, and it was a very interesting episode. And I will be curious to see where we go next. At the end, we see Kenny the Ripper. He has the thing that he can become a Titan, so we'll see if he actually becomes a Titan or if he just dies. We'll find out next week. Doctor Who, Series 11, Episode 3. Alright, so this episode of Doctor Who, the Doctor and the gang travel back in time to 1955, I believe, and we're traveling back to Montgomery, Alabama, otherwise known as the Rosa Parks episode. This episode is titled Rosa, and what I like about this episode was, I always love it when Doctor Who goes back in time, because I always tell people, Doctor Who is the perfect mix of history, adventure, sci-fi, and also a little bit of horror. In this episode, they go back to the 20th century in Montgomery, and they're dealing with Rosa Parks, and you have this other time traveler who's trying to interfere with history to avoid Rosa Parks from not sitting down on the bus, because if she doesn't sit down on the bus, other events that happen, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, Tommy stuff. So I really enjoyed this episode. This episode was really fun to watch, and it was just great seeing the characters all end up together like this. And also dealing with characters who they're realizing, it was like, well, without Rosa, I wouldn't be here. I couldn't be a police officer. I couldn't do all this. So I really liked the episode. And also the little musical themes of Rosa, I thought it was really good, and also a little cameo for Dr. Luther King. Overall, great episode of Doctor Who. I mean, this season turned out pretty good so far. Arrow, Season 7, Episode 2. Alright, so this episode of Arrow, we have more stuff going on with the season. We have Felicity. She's returned home, and she's working with Argus, but she really wants to get after Diaz, and John's like, Felicity, that is not how we do it at Argus. Argus. Thank God for Argus. And that's part of the episode. Then you also have some stuff going on with Laurel. We get to see more of Laurel going on in this episode. And Laurel is trying to figure out, and she's trying to get Diaz for killing Quentin. So, and then you also have her and Dino working together. So that was interesting for a part of it. Laura's also saying, it's like, I'm a changed woman. I guess we'll find out or not. And the thing that's interesting about this episode, well, you see Felicity, at the end, she says, yeah, I'm done with Argus, and she goes to join the FBI, so we'll see how that transpires later on this season. And then also we see the flash forwards is what's the most interesting part about this season, is because we're seeing future William and future Rory, or future Roy, and they're working together to figure out what's going on, and it's just interesting, and I'm really intrigued by these flash forwards. So, you know, I was missing the flashbacks last season. I'm kind of glad they've gone to a different direction with the flash forwards this season. So I'll be interested to watch more of Arrow, and also the stuff going on with Oliver. Oliver is trying to get information about Diaz, how he got hit, and it's just very interesting. So guys, that was an interesting episode of Arrow. Legends of Tomorrow, Season 4, Episode 1. Alright, so this is the season premiere of Legends of Tomorrow, one of my favorite CW shows. And I have to say, this was a very interesting premiere for this season. This season, we're introducing more magical stuff. We introduced magic in Season 3, bringing in John with the creature Malice. And now we're getting more and more into magic this episode, where basically they're at Woodstock, but they're also getting celebrated for, good job, y'all! Fixed all your mess ups from last season. They're like, yay, but we still have all these monsters now, like a unicorn. I was just like, there's a unicorn in Woodstock, because the one people who wouldn't believe it are people who are tripping their bodies out. So So I really like that element of the season episode. Also, you see Sarah and Ava, their relationship's going to the next level. There's some other things to talk about. There's not much more, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm curious to see what's more going on in the season. John is not joining the crew. I don't guess he's starring in it, but he's going to be a big factor going on for the rest of the season. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever happens next. The Flash, Season 5, Episode 2, 3. So this episode of The Flash, we're getting more information about Cicada, the villain of the season, maybe. And basically, in this episode, they're trying to find him, so they get the greatest detective around, Harrison Sherlock Wells. Another Harrison Wells. You knew they were going to bring another Harrison Wells after Harry got kind of dumb last season. And, you know, it's a funny part. They always bring in a new Harrison Wells to help them solve their season of cases. So, that's very interesting. This one's a little weirder. He's a detective. He's basically Sherlock Holmes this season. So, I guess we'll see how that goes. Basically, Cicada's trying to kill Bobby this episode. And he has Joe all tied up. And he's trying to get information from him. Also, we see some more things of Barry teaching Nora how to become a hero, how to be excess, or whatever the hell her superhero name is. So, very interesting episode. I'm curious to see what happens next week. Black Lightning, Season 2, Episode 3. So this episode of Black Lightning, we're seeing, first off with Jefferson. Jefferson has accepted not being principal. He's going to be teacher. We meet the new principal who is bringing in more security to a black school with metal detectors and everything. So that's going on. And other things going on, we're seeing the daughter, the youngest daughter, learn to train how to use her powers. And she's going to these mental training montages where she's going to be able to learn to control her powers. And you have the other girl who is trying to arrange with Dayton, but she's also wanting to become Robin Hood. Basically, she's stealing from the thieves and giving to the poor, and are given to the church so they can do some good deeds. And at the end of this episode, we see that the police they catch Tobias. I mean, you have to believe this is part of Tobias' plan, but who knows with this guy. So that was the episode of Black Lightning. Very interesting what's going on. I'm curious where it's going to go next. Riverdale, Season 3, Episode 3. So this episode of Riverdale, we're basically some stuff going on with Archie. Archie is in prison. He has to get involved in a fight club. And you know the first rule of Fight Club is, well, you don't talk about Fight Club. But I'm going to talk about Fight Club. So basically they're fighting for the warden's glamour and all the guards. And basically at the end of the episode, Archie's like, we're getting the hell out of here. And you see the book. It's a basic reference to Shawshank Redemption. And yeah, that's what's going on with Archie. Veronica's opening up her under bar, the under party place where she can thrive her business, and she's trying to get dirt on her father. So we'll see how that goes up. And then Jughead and Veronica are looking into the Dungeons and the Gargoyle game, the cult game that's gonna, I guess the main mystery of the season. Overall, this is a very interesting episode. I'm curious to see the stuff going on with the gargoyle stuff, because it's just weird. Every season is something different. Like the first season was a murder mystery, trying to figure out what happened to the one kid. The second season was a serial killer, and this season we're having a gargoyle, like Dungeons and Dragons type game. So, very interesting episode of this of Riverdale. Survivor, David versus Goliath, Episode 5. So this episode of Survivor, where we have evacuation. Those are always interesting. The tribes get evacuated from their camps because of cyclone or something's about to hit. And yeah, that's what happens. Their camps are destroyed. They have a reward challenge, and Jeff does that thing where when David's fighting a Goliath in the challenge, he's like, this is it! David versus Goliath! And you're just like, damn it, Pro, stop trying to make this happen. Basically, the Purple Tribe, they end up going to Tribal Council, and the Purple Tribe ends up voting out Natalie over jackets and eggs. Okay, I'm glad to see Natalie gone. She was annoying, and I'm kind of glad that. I mean, I didn't like. Be honest with you, I didn't like Lyrsa or Natalie. So either way, it's a win-win. So hopefully, Lyrsa goes home next week. Big Bang Theory, Season 12, Episode 6. This episode of Big Bang Theory is the Halloween episode. The last Halloween episode, actually. Didn't think about that. So this episode of Big Bang Theory, we're seeing they're all dressed up for Halloween, basic funny stuff happening. Howard decides to dress as Sheldon, and he's mocking Sheldon right to Sheldon's face. Sheldon doesn't realize it. Amy gets offended. Well, Sheldon gets offended, which gets Bernadette offended. And yeah, that's basically all happens. And then Penny and Leonard reminisce about their first kiss. And yeah, that's basically the episode. It had some funny moments in there. It had some really good funny moments, but other than that, it was okay. I mean, this season's just been kind of a letdown, to be honest with you, after the great last season. So yeah, that's Big Bang. Young Sheldon, Season 2, Episode 6. Alright, so this episode of Young Sheldon, it's the Halloween episode, and Mary is put in charge of doing the haunted house, or the Judgment Day house, or she likes to call it the Heck House, and it's basically she teams up with Sheldon's old drama teacher to basically scare the kids to Jesus. I mean, you see this, it was funny at really times, and you see Georgie's trying to get laid with this really hot chick, and then she gets scared half to death, and she goes to the heaven door, and Georgie's just like, and at the end, Sheldon's like, and Georgie became a devout atheist after that moment, and it was just that was some really funny moments, and also Sheldon dressing up as something that no one really realizes what he is. So this is a very funny episode. Alright, now that we're done with all live TV shows, let's talk about the show I'm streaming this week, and that is Daredevil Season 3. Holy crap, what a great season. It's been 2 years since Daredevil's been on TV. And I have to say, I've really missed Daredevil. It was cool seeing him in Defenders and everything, but that just did not feel like the Daredevil I know. And this season of Daredevil takes us really back down to the basics. We see Vincent D'Onofrio return as Wilson Fisk as Kingpin, and he's incredible. And just seeing what Kingpin is doing and his strategies, it was incredible to watch, and I love what D'Onofrio does in this role. And I love Matt Murdock. I love Charlie Cox in this season. I love what he did in this as his character, because like I said, this season takes it really back down to the basics of season 1, because he's not wearing the red Daredevil suit. He's back to the black suit over his eyes. It's a very back to basics season. I'll talk more about it when I get to season review later on this week. So guys, that was another TV recap. What are your thoughts below? Comment below. Tell me what your thoughts are of all the shows I talk about, or shows I don't talk about that you want me to talk about. Where it is, comment below. Let me know. I probably won't get to them, but hey, at least you get your feedback in there. Guys, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button, subscribe to see more, or tell your friends about Easy Nation. All too easy.